So today we are going to try to get caught up on a couple of the things that we haven't been able to do the last couple of days. We are going to walk the city, take photos, and then hit a destination point, which is 3 miles away, which is the starting point of the scavenger hunt that we probably would have done yesterday or the day before hadn't we fallen ill. And then tonight we have dinner at Orchids. We had to rearrange this reservation 3 times now, so it will be a later dinner. It's an 8:30 dinner, correct?
Yes.
So, but we'll see you there. We'll see you out and about today. Hopefully none of us get sick. Bye.
Depart California by plane or boat, head west, keep going, and eventually you'll find yourself in Honolulu. For many travelers, Hawaii's capital city is merely a gateway to the many other tropical islands. Those who take the time to explore Honolulu never want to leave, and perhaps that's why the area is nearing 1 million permanent residents. In today's epic scavenger hunt, you'll find the storied buildings, regal history, and incredible sea views that make this such a magical place. Take a break from Waikiki Beach. You were getting a little burned anyway. And let's take in all the royal views of Honolulu.
Hunt on.
Hunt on. We begin our scavenger hunt along the shores of Honolulu at the city's most welcoming landmark, the Aloha Tower. Built in 1926, the cherished tower for many years was the tallest structure in Hawaii. That fact also made it an easy target. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, the tower was painted, camouflaged, and defenses were placed all around. But for nearly a century, the tower has been a guiding light for both immigrants and tourists arriving to Hawaii. The tower also tells time, and it looks like it's about time to get the scavenger hunt questions rolling. Now hold on, because I'm getting also text.
It just said, "Welcome, you're the team leader." Hi there, Shutterbug. Keep your tripod set up because you'll receive challenges shortly. I should probably turn on my volume on my phone. Silent. Oh, I guess my... Okay.
The tower may have been the tallest structure in Hawaii, but it really isn't all that big. Listen or read carefully, friends. How many stories are there from the top of the arched entranceway to the bottom of the clock face? So we got to look for the tower.
Okay, so we found our first thing, and the question is... Read it out loud.
How many stories are there from the top of the arched entranceway to the bottom of the clock face? We need to get away from this tree.
Okay. The tower may have been the tallest structure in Hawaii, but it really isn't all that big. Listen or read carefully, friends, how many stories there are from the top of the arched entranceway to the bottom of the clock face. Possible points 100. And it looks like our options are 5, 7, 11, or 9. Standing alone for the first time in its 69-year history, this refurbished Aloha Tower is dedicated to the people of Hawaii by the waterfront developer on the first anniversary of the opening of Aloha Tower Marketplace, November 19th, 1995.
Lucky number 7. Now you know the tower's aging secret to looking so good in your 90s. Expensive restorations help too.
Hunt on.
If you feel like taking a little trip to Los Angeles, 2,500 miles away, you can ask the owner of our next landmark. With your back to the water, walk up to Aloha Drive and make a right. You'll soon come to the historic ship Falls of Clyde. Built in 1878 over in Scotland, you'd think it was made for plundering treasure, and you wouldn't be too far off. This boat was an oil tanker transporting black gold. So we're
That doesn't seem like it would be that way. That seems like it would be that way.
Well, it's that boat that we already saw.
So it is that boat.
I'm pretty sure it's that boat. Around the year the Aloha Tower was built, Falls of Clyde was calling it a retirement, and her masts were cut down. The boat fell into the hands of the Bishop Museum of History and Science here in Honolulu, and the masts were restored to their former glory. Children on field trips gave a rejoiceful "Arr!" How many masts does the ship have? Hint, masts are the vertical poles the sails hang from.
Falls of Clyde has 4 masts. I want to get a photo from the opposite side. Hidden within the masts and the lining of the hull of the ship is a bounty of golden learning experiences, or at least we read that in the brochure. Hunt on. Okay.
We're not going to hike up any volcanoes today, but we can quickly bring you to some volcanic rock. Between the Aloha Tower and Falls of Clyde, you'll find Bishop Street. Head away from the water and make a right on Merchant Street. On the left, you'll soon find the Joseph W. Podmore building. It's not the tallest or the shiniest building on the street, but it's certainly the most unique. With a facade constructed from local volcanic rock, Joseph was an industrious English sailor who built this little structure and rented it out to a printing company, as well as a tailor and decorator. You'd think the decorator would have recommended something to liven up the exterior walls, fiery orange perhaps, unless that would have scared away local residents.
So it appears on the scavenger hunt, not even 3 clues into it, and we struck gold with a Starbucks. So John went over there to get us something to drink, but we are sitting on Merchant Street, so we will be headed down that direction when he gets back. Okay, so we're pretty sure we're coming up on the building that is made in obsidian. Right there on the corner. What's the next question?
The question is, building with volcanic rock is not something you see every day, but it was more common when Joseph built it. Back in what year?
Alright, so that means we're going to have to cross the street and get closer to it. $1902. Yeah, it's right there on the building.
Oh.
Or do you think that's the address?
I think that's the address.
Okay. We believe it was built in 1902 because
Correct.
correct, because the address is actually on the door of the building. Okay, so now where?
Hunting on. The years engraved within the bricks near the very top of the building. Perhaps it was overshadowed by the neighbor, First Hawaiian Center, the tallest office building in the state. I guess it's
That one. Yeah, either that one or that one.
Okay, hunt on. Hopefully you wore your finest scavenger hunt garbs, because next up is a date with the king. Continue along Merchant Street and you'll find Aliolani Hale.
we have 5 seconds to cross here.
Thank you very much.
The 5th, back when this was the Kingdom of Hawaii. Construction lasted 3 years, and Kamehameha died, likely from impatience. Queen Liliuokalani was the last of Hawaii royalty to run the show here. The U.S. overthrew the monarchy, and America had a tropical paradise to call their own. A warm and happy ending, particularly for beach-loving Americans. So we're going to continue down Merchant Street until we come to Aliolani.
This is the statue. Yeah, he's holding a spear in his hand. I'm gonna set this down.
If you want to know what Kamehameha really looked like, you'll have to jump into the history books. The sculptor of this statue was an American living in Italy at the time, who ignored the photographs of Polynesians that he was sent and instead found inspiration from the Italians he saw on the street. The sculptor almost went as far as to place a pizza in the Hawaiian king's other hand. The Hawaiian monarchy didn't have to stress about their rush hour commute to work. Turn your back to the statue, cross King Street, and you'll find the Iolani Palace, completed in the last decades of the monarchy. This is considered the only royal palace anywhere in the United States. Foreign dignitaries and American politicians were received in the palace. If U.S. President Chester A. Arthur had visited, he would have access to curious new inventions still foreign to the White House: telephones and electricity.
Just take a picture from here.
All good things came to an end for the Hawaiian monarchy before the turn of the century. Today the palace serves as a museum. What was the building's function for the majority of 1895? Choices are post office, courthouse, prison, or fort.
What was the answer?
Prison.
Can't hear you.
Prison.
Okay.
But according to the plaque in front of the palace, Queen Liliuokalani was imprisoned here for 8 months in 1895. Imprisoned in a palace? Where do we sign up? Hunt on. We turn the page on Hawaii's royal history and venture into the ugliness of American politics. Walk to the back of Iolani Palace. Head north behind the magical banyan trees, and beyond the gate you'll find the Hawaii State Capitol building. The Iolani Palace was used as the first state house until this square structure was built in the 1960s. They barely even needed moving trucks for the relocation. Senators could bring their personal belongings by hand in what is surely considered the hardest day of legislature in Hawaiian history. What the building lacks in artistic merit is made up for by the pretty grounds and monuments that surround the Capitol. Near the Capitol's main entrance along Baratania Street, you'll find a replica of what iconic American symbol of democracy? Philadelphia would gladly trade the real Liberty Bell for Honolulu's weather. Philly would even be willing to throw cheesesteaks into the deal. Hunt on. Sing a happy hymn en route to our next landmark. With the Liberty Bell on your right shoulder, walk along Baratania Street, make the first right on Punch Bowl Street, and on your left you'll soon find the Kauahiao Church. Considered the Westminster Abbey of Hawaii, this was the chapel of the royal family. Earlier we found a building made up of volcanic rock. This church was made of coral rock. Just below sea level, divers chiseled coral blocks by hand. No mermaids were hurt in the process. course, not everything on the church could be made of coral. Read carefully. There are 2 building features made of something other than coral, and there are 4 of each of those things. What are they?
So in there is an older church, but I believe that this is the church it's actually talking about. So what are the options?
Clock faces and round columns.
Okay.
The granite stairs and iron railings.
Okay. Well, there's
Clock faces and sharp spires. See sharp spires.
okay. Well, there are 4 railings and 4 columns, but there's probably 4 clock faces. So it's clock faces and columns, because there's not just 4 stairs.
Okay, so clock faces and round columns is correct. Those columns have been working around the clock, since 1842 to support this church. In fact, they're all due for some vacation time. Does your group mind filling in for the week? Bad. Hunt on. While the Aloha Tower greeted immigrants, our next landmark processed them. Continue down Punch Bowl Street, and after several blocks, you'll make a left on Ala Moana Boulevard. On your right, you'll soon find the historic U.S. Immigration Office, now Homeland Security. Laborers arrived to Hawaii from all over the world, and they were all processed here over the decades. And during World War II, the office pulled double duty by processing prisoners of war. Aloha Tower was not such a welcome sight for them. Okay. The building was designed by California native C.W. Dickey, and the Dickey roof style would be replicated many times over in Hawaii during the 1980s and 1990s. This style could be defined as what? Low and wide, smooth and low, steep, or wide and reflective?
Steep.
Well, I hit low and wide by accident again, but that was the right answer.
Low and wide.
C.W. Dickey has a roof named after him, and we are actually planning on naming a scavenger hunt after your team, which will be defined as sharp and speedy. Great job today. Hunt on. Congratulations, you have completed the medium length scavenger hunt. It is possible to end your hunt now, or you can hunt on and try to beat the high score.
Hi you guys. So we ended our scavenger hunt a little early, but it gave us the option to, just because there wasn't much shade, and I really needed to kind of stay out of the sun today. But we did 65%, 69. We did 69% of the full-fledged scavenger hunt. We could have continued, but it gave us the option to stop, so we did, and caught an Uber back to the hotel. We are going to take a walk, find something to eat for lunch, and then come back to the hotel and probably just chill until dinner time. So we'll see you at Orchids tonight.